This afternoon, the women's championship game pitting the second seed Fairfield Stags and the 4th seed Loyola Greyhounds. I'm Howard Simon alongside Doris Burke, and our third member of the broadcast team will join us shortly, Doug Sherman. Thank you for joining us as we get set to award an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And Doris, both of these programs familiar with this point in the tournament. Diane Nolan has had 5 of her Fairfield teams come here before. 2 have won. Patty Coyle from Loyola, 3 trips to the title game, and she's won 2.
Well, Pat Coyle's club has a history of being ready come late February and March. Her 2 titles have come against this Fairfield Stag club.
When you talk about the keys to the game as we match up the 2nd and 4th seeded teams, the Citizens Communications keys, we'll start with Loyola.
Well, Loyola's not a team that's going to come out and outscore anybody, but they need to spread the production around offensively. They're also dominant on the defensive end. They held number 1 Siena to 20 points below their average. They're very tough down there. Fairfield on the other side, they're going to have to read and adjust against those defenses, and they need to do that quickly. And as the page turns, Paige Driscoll is the senior for this Fairfield club, and when you talk to Pat Coyle, she said the key to controlling Fairfield is controlling Paige Driscoll.
All right, let's talk more about the players, some of the key players to watch. We'll start with Loyola. 1, their point guard, Corey Hewitt, and 2, one of the best post players in this league, Marianne Kirsch.
Well, when you think point guard, you think tempo and decisions with the basketball. Corey Hewitt in yesterday's semifinal was absolutely outstanding. Marianne Kirsch, the block player for this club, very smart, very physical. Her key will be defending Gail Strump, the Rookie of the Year for Fairfield.
Back to Fairfield, you mentioned Paige Driscoll. Let's talk more about her and the first-team All-MAAC player in Jessica Grossart.
Well, these 2 seniors have never won a MAAC tournament championship and consequently have never been to the NCAA, despite the fact that they have been terrific MAAC performers. Grossart, a phenomenally streaky shooter. She got off early yesterday. She needs to do that again. And Paige Driscoll is the type of player who steadies this Fairfield club. She's got to be consistent in this championship game.
Fairfield and Loyola, we are getting set. When we come back, we'll talk to the 2 head coaches, Diane Nolan and Pat Coyle. The women's championship game is next on the MAAC Television Network.
This game is brought to you in part by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. By Pepsi Cola, Pepsi, Generation Next. By GMAC and the GM College Grad Program. By Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The New York Lottery, they're the hottest tickets in town. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Mazda.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Arena in Albany, New York. The MAAC Women's Championship game set to go between Loyola and Fairfield. The Stags having beaten Manhattan and St. Peter's to get to this point. They are coached by Diane Nolan, who's looking for her 3rd MAAC championship, and she's with Doris Burke.
Diane, you didn't get the regular season championship, but now you've got a shot at the tournament championship and a berth in the NCAA.
Oh, yeah, we're real excited to be here. You know, our kids worked all season long to get to this point, and now they just want to go out and play the game.
Loyola upset Siena. They're playing extremely well right now. What do you have to do against this club?
We have to defend inside. You know, I think it's going to be a battle of the paint. We have to get untracked early inside, and we have to defend there inside.
All right, good luck to you, Diane.
Thanks.
And Loyola at 20-8 beat 5th seed Iona and the top seed Siena to make it to the championship game. Pat Coyle, like Diane Nolan, is looking for a 3rd MAAC championship, and the coach of the Greyhounds is with Doris Burke.
Patty, you were able to pull up the upset of Siena, number 1 yesterday. You've got another tough test in number 2 Fairfield today.
I think, you know, our kids are up to the challenge. You know, they did a great job yesterday defensively, and, you know, going in today's game, they understand what they need to do. And, you know, I think we're ready, and I think it's going to be a great game.
Are they focused on that NCAA berth? I mean, is that something that'll put pressure on them or maybe relax them?
I don't think they're focusing in on that. I mean, right now, these kids are just concerned about Fairfield and what we're going to do and what we need to do.
All right, good luck to you, Patty.
Great. Thank you.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's game, brought to you by GMAC. We'll start with the lower seed Loyola Greyhounds at 20-8. And Corey Hewitt is the point guard, joined by Teresa Cooney in the backcourt, Jennifer Bongard, Erica Rath, the fine freshman, Marianne Kirsch in the middle. And the Fairfield Stags, Natal in the backcourt, Grossarth, first-team All-MAAC, Paige Driscoll, Yvette Nicholas, and Gail Strump, the Rookie of the Year in the MAAC, the GMAC starting lineups. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Doug Sherman. Doug?
All right, thank you, Howard. And this matchup is one that the folks here in Albany have seen a couple of times. You guys alluded to it earlier, where in the freshman and sophomore years of both Grossarth and Driscoll, they were here in the championship game, but Fairfield lost to Loyola. Pat Coyle and Diane Nolan, 2 of the veteran coaches and fantastic coaches matching wits again today. The Stags are hoping to win this so that they don't go down as one of the most talented teams in MAAC history never to win a championship. We'll see what happens today. Back to you, Howard.
All right, Doug, thank you very much. That's right. Diane Nolan has won 2 back in 1988 and 91, but losses in to Fairfield, to Loyola a couple times, and Manhattan as recent as 1996 here in Albany. Fairfield, the higher seed, and the home white jerseys moving right to left. That's Jennifer Natal, the point guard. And to Yvette Nicholas, knocked around. Nicholas recovers for the Stags. One thing you'll notice, Doris, you talked about it. You're going to watch Loyola this afternoon, folks. They play very strong defense. Grossarth can't hit it.
They open up straight man-to-man. They ran Grossarth down to the block on Hewitt. If that matchup continues, they may post Grossarth up. She does have skills down there on the block.
She is their leading scorer at 16 points a game. Loyola back on offense, the 4th seed in the road green uniforms. Corey Hewitt, the point guard. Teresa Cooney open for the 3. Can't hit it. Driscoll with the rebound for the Stags.
Well, both clubs show a little bit of zone to start this basketball game. It might come down to perimeter shooting. We talked so much about the post, but they may see a lot of attention down there. We'll see if people can loosen things up with the jump shots.
So Diane Nolan said if they are going to open this game up, obviously it has to come from the perimeter. They have to get some outside scoring. Grossarth can do that, certainly, and Driscoll can do that as well, although she does go inside with ease as well. Stags lose the ball. Loyola takes over. A little over a minute in and no score here.
Well, I think you're going to see Loyola be extremely physical down on the post, particularly with Gail Strumpf, the freshman. They might try to frustrate her early. You can see Loyola leads the tournament series 2-0.
In fact, they've taken 9 of the last 12 overall against Fairfield. They kind of have their number. And this is a home away from home for Pat Coyle and the Loyola Greyhounds in the MAAC tournament, which we touched upon it yesterday. They're now 12-2 in tournament games here in Albany under Pat Coyle. Strumpf grabs the rebound. She's very strong on the boards. The running hook is no good. Batted around, and Strumpf saves it to Nicholas, who draws the foul on Rath.
Well, in the first 2 matchups between these two clubs, as solid a year as Gail Strumpf has had as a freshman. Again, she's the Rookie of the Year. She did not play well in either game against Loyola. But you'll see her, this is off the glass here. She goes for the second rebound of her own missed shot, tries to save it in, does. And you see Yvette Nicholas takes a body from Erica Rath.
Strumpf had 15 points in the 2 games against the Greyhounds. Again, they split the regular season series, the home team winning both times. Nicholas misses the first free throw at the line. Yvette Nicholas, the junior from Brooklyn, a 66% foul shooter. Still looking for our first points of the game. Fallon Rath her first. There's our first point.
Fairfield blew Loyola out the first time they played at Fairfield. It was much closer at Loyola, just a 3-point spread.
Games about a month apart, January 21st and February 20th.
It's only 9 days ago, really. These two teams, it hasn't been that long.
There's a 3 for Teresa Cooney. Missed on her first attempt, but gets one there. Well, they're not exactly the best 3-point shooting team in the world. Any 3s they get kind of a bonus, I think.
Yeah, again, this isn't a team that puts a lot of points on the board, only averaging 64. They've got to make this a half-court game. They want to slow Fairfield down, make them play a half-court set.
Natal to Grossarth. Tied up and called for traveling. Jessica Grossarth has not had a particularly strong MAAC tournament. Well, she has had 24 points, but the shooting percentage has not been that great.
But we talked a lot about their defense. There you see Erica Rath just steps over into defensive help on the penetration by Grossarth.
Bongard baseline drive blocked by Gail Strumpf. In addition to rebounding, she is very good at blocking shots. A great presence underneath, and again, just a freshman for Diane Nolan. They're looking inside for her on the post with Kirsch. That'll be a great battle today, and a nice turnaround jumper.
Well, that's her game. She loves that fadeaway shot, and it'll bring a smile to her face. I mean, that was a great shot because there was a challenge right in her face.
Well, they feel they can play physical with Gail Strumpf and maybe take her off her game. That is pretty much what every team in this league tries to do, by the way. Bongard from the corner for 3.
Wow, this is a really positive start if you're Pat Coyle. You know, you don't typically see this club knock down a lot of jump shots. They're primarily a post-oriented club.
Those 6-3 Loyola on a couple of 3s early on. Stags back on offense. Strumpf driving. Nice dish to Nicholas, but she can't handle it. Back the other way go the Greyhounds. Hewitt with some help. Bounce pass right side Bongard. Cooney inside to Kirsch. Nice job fronting that, and Nicholas comes up with the steal.
It's all about decisions. You got to get the ball into the hands of Corey Hewitt.
Off that turnover, the ball will come back the other way. Loyola, for the record, 4th in 3-point percentage this season in the MAAC, but 77 makes was the second lowest total of the 10 teams in the league, but they've hit 2 early on.
Now Fairfield will extend a little bit. Natal checking Hewitt.
Bongard on the far side. Kirsch, who made All MAAC when the honors were announced on Thursday at the annual awards banquet. Rath, the freshman, in and out. Kirsch strong on the boards and will draw the foul. Well, we talked about the battle in the paint. The post player is key. Strump for Fairfield and the combo of Kirsch and Rath. And both Kirsch and Rath are very strong on the defensive and offensive glass.
Well, Kirsch, the more experienced of the two players. You see Strump for an instant look like she had position, but you better put a body on Kirsch. You can't let her in there without a body on her.
They throw away the inbounds pass. Fairfield running Natal to Driscoll. Nice pickoff for Loyola and Teresa Cooney.
5 turnovers in 4 minutes of play by Fairfield. They may be a little bit tight coming into this one.
Bongard on the far side. Rath, foul circle jumper is around and out. Rebound Kirsch and Strump fight for it, and Strump goes down pretty hard. She's okay.
Well, she's hit the ground twice now. No question what they're going to try and do here.
It's the title game, right? Everything is on the line here today. Nicholas with the follow and the foul.
Well, now that's twice that Nicholas has been around the basket and been very opportunistic. She's working hard. This is Natal on penetration. Doesn't get it to go, but Nicholas right there, weak side of the floor, just beats Rath to the spot.
Well, an early problem for Pat Coyle, the coach of Loyola. Erica Rath, the talented freshman, picks up her second foul, so she goes to the bench. And Diana Keeney checks in, 6-foot freshman from Towanda, Pennsylvania. And Nicholas can't hit the three-point play. Bongard gets it for the Greyhounds and stripped away by Strump. We have an officials timeout. 15:43 left first half. 6-5 Loyola leads Fairfield. Back with more of the MAAC Women's Championship game on the MAAC Television Network.
St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey. For more than 125 years, St. Peter's College has offered students from all economic, cultural, and social backgrounds an unsurpassed education in liberal arts, business, education, the sciences, and more, including championship athletic programs that stress academic excellence. St. Peter's College, diverse, international, Catholic, Jesuit, with campuses in Jersey City and Englewood Cliffs. St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey.
Did You Know feature brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Did you know that Marianne Kirsch from Loyola played for her father Barry at Archbishop Carroll High School outside of Philadelphia, and that Gina Mosley, her Loyola teammate, was a teammate of hers at Archbishop Carroll? There's quite the Philadelphia connection going on with this Loyola program. Pat Coyle and all of her assistants are from Philly.
And they played in the Philly Catholic League, and she recruits that league heavily. It's an outstanding league in Philadelphia. And you talk about Philly, it's called the cradle of coaches, because, I mean, you could just name off, I can think of 10 right off the top Philadelphia coaches who are coaching women's basketball. Gina Oriema at Connecticut, Joe McEwen at George Washington, Pat Coyle here.
Backdoor cut, Hewitt with the basket. Nice dish by Kirsch.
Well, I'll tell you what, they ran that play 3 times yesterday. When you talk to the Fairfield club, they were concerned about that. You know, they run that set where they clear everybody up above the foul line, take you back door. It's very tough to defend. No help defense is there.
Nicholas tries the long-range jumper, no good. And a rebounding foul underneath. By the way, going into our last break, Gail Strump on that strip attempt was charged with her second foul, so she is on the bench. So both teams losing key players early, Rath and Strump to fouls. That foul on Grossart for Fairfield, her first, team's third, and Loyola gets the ball back. Greyhounds tying a school record when they beat Siena last night with their 20th win of the season, 20-8. Continuing a great success story under Pat Coyle at the Baltimore school. Bongard drives, pulls up jumper, and it is no good. In and out, rebound. Nicholas grabs it away from Keeney, who reaches in and draws the foul.
Yeah, it looked like she might have had a lot of basketball on that attempt, Keeney. Keeney played well in that second game with these two clubs. Here's the penetration right there by Bongard. It's nice and soft, so it gives her teammate a time to get in there. But there it is. That's what the officials saw and called. So both clubs now with 3 team fouls.
Holly Tapley in the game for Fairfield, number 42, 5'7" freshman from Calais, Maine. One of the top players in that state. Cindy O'Connor right there, number 20, the 6'4" junior from Vienna, Virginia, in for the Stags as well. Tapley will try the 3 and hit it.
Well, Holly Tapley, the freshman off the bench, contributes early. She didn't see a whole heck of a lot of time yesterday.
She was second on the team in threes this season behind Jessica Grossarth. Traveling will turn the ball back over to the Stags. We're tied at 8. 14-16 left, first half in this women's championship game. The hometown fans hoping to see Siena in their first ever MAAC tournament title game. The Saints bounced yesterday by Loyola. Fairfield took down St. Peter's, which is usually in the MAAC championship game as well. Nicholas, left side O'Connor, good feed through the double team. Driscoll draws the foul. And we did mention it in the top, Doris, when you talk to Pat Coyle. Grossarth has the better number statistically, but Pat Coyle felt Paige Driscoll is the key to this Fairfield team.
Oh, she's been the most consistent performer for Diane Nolan all year long. She loves to operate on the baseline. That time she elects to go back to the basket, but she gets herself to the foul line.
Foul on Bongard, her first. And Paige Driscoll at the free throw line, a 71% shooter.
You and I talked about this yesterday during the broadcast. Here's Driscoll, who is up around 50% shooting it. She's taken 100 less shots than Grossarth, their leading scorer, but she is as steady a presence on the floor as you could ask for.
Well, like Grossarth, Driscoll, first team All-MAAC. And she's had a strong tournament. She'll more likely will be on the all-tournament team with 39 points in 2 games coming into action this afternoon. Her first 2 of the day give Fairfield a 2-point lead at 10-8. Gina Mosley in the game now for Loyola off the bench. Was handling the ball a moment ago, number 22. That's Marianne Kirsch, left of the lane, driving on O'Connor and hits the layup.
Well, when they send 2 posts down there, they're both physical. She and Keeney are very physical, and you allow Kirsch to operate one-on-one, and she is a phenomenally smart player. Does an excellent job reading what the defense gives her.
Kirsch, first team All-MAAC, junior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, gets her first bucket of the day. Tapley right of the lane, back to O'Connor. That's Driscoll. Bongard draws the defensive assignment. She's been in the starting lineup since Gina Mosley went down with a dislocated shoulder in early February, and Mosley reaches in there and draws the foul.
Well, typically when you get that up fake and go move, the officials have been all over it. I thought Tapley might have traveled with the basketball, but instead they call Mosley for the reach-in.
Allison Thorne, number 5, in for Fairfield, 6'3" sophomore from Queens. I bet Nicholas will get a break. Stags 19-9, including a split of the 2 games with Loyola in the regular season. Thorne, top of the key, left side to Grossarth. Will try the jumper, and she can't hit it. Grossarth, no points yet, 7 minutes in. Driscoll with the rebound off the back of the rim, no good. Thorne tries to keep it alive. Bongard has it for the Greyhounds.
Well, they don't come away with a bucket, but Fairfield through this first almost 7.5 minutes, they have done an outstanding job on the boards, offensively and defensively.
That was a big key for them coming in. Kirsch drags her foot. She'll get called for traveling. Well, we've talked about all MAAC performers. There are some all-academic MAAC student athletes here as well. Marianne Kirsch, one of them, 3.44 in speech pathology. Corey Hewitt, the point guard, a 3.72 in accounting. Not bad. Took accounting for 1 semester, and it was too tough, so I got out of it, went into broadcast. Tapley inside, that's Thorne, triple teamed and called for steps. Lost her balance in the paint, turned the ball back over to the Greyhounds.
Well, if this basketball game is going to be won by Loyola, the score will be kept low, and the focus of the game will be down there on the blocks.
Yeah, Loyola definitely wants this game in a low-scoring mode. They did a great job of controlling the tempo against Siena and shutting down that high, explosive offense the Saints had.
Well, this is a team that was number 1 in the conference in both points given up and also field goal percentage. This is them working on the offensive end. Little pick and roll. You see Thorne comes up and tries to give help, but you got to move your feet and beat the offensive player to the spot.
Bongard can't hit the 3. It was a first foul on Thorne. Weak side, Hewitt saves it in the corner. Needs a little help, but she's double-teamed. Bounce past Mosley. She'll try the left elbow jumper and leaves it short. Rebound, all Stags. Tapley. Long pass for Driscoll, and it's behind her and out of bounds. We have 11:57 left, first half. A tie game at 10. Fairfield and Loyola. Back with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network. Marine Midland Bank proud to sponsor the Marine Midland Family Section. Tickets and programs for today's game were provided by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. Howard Simon along with Doris Burke. Good crowd on hand for the women's championship game. A lot of people came out this morning for a clinic with Teresa Weatherspoon of the WNBA New York Liberty, who was here for the MAAC Way program. Out at 10:30 this morning. The kids out getting autographs. 10 10 tie. Shannon Cohen in the game now, the reserve point guard for Loyola, 5'6" freshman from Timonium, Maryland. Kirsch doubled off to Keeney. They'll leave her open. Foul line jumper, good.
Keeney had 11 points, 4 boards off the bench just 9 days ago for Loyola. She came in with some foul trouble to her teammates, did an outstanding job, gets the jumper there.
Loyola in a little bit of a zone here as Fairfield goes back on offense, down 2. Daphne, right side Williams, long range 3, no good. Weak side rebound, Driscoll up and in.
Well, you don't typically see that side of the floor completely cleared out in the zone. So that might have been some junk that Pat Coyle had thrown right there, because I'll tell you, that weak side of the floor was wide open.
Gina Mosley, second team All-MAAC this season. Right of the lane, drives, jumper, good.
Well, that's Mosley's game. Remember, she missed a lot of games mid-season with that shoulder injury, and her club suffered because of it. I think it was 3 was a total number, but they struggled without her. She's an important performer for Pat Coyle.
She's second on the team in scoring this season behind Kirsch, averaging 11 a game and 6 boards as well. Foul called on Gina Mosley.
Number 2 on her now as well.
Yeah, Rath is still on the bench with the 2 early fouls. And she, as you mentioned, had a big game against Siena, 18 points yesterday, and has had a good tournament. Inside, Driscoll draws the foul on the drive.
Well, that's the senior operating against the freshman there on the baseline, and Driscoll just got the step. Keeney actually outsizes her. She's got a more solid frame, but you see Driscoll just gets on the bottom side. And I'll tell you what, Driscoll, she is just so steady, has been the most consistent offensive player all year. I know she's not their leading scorer, but when you need a bucket, you think Paige Driscoll.
She is a senior, and like Jessica Grossarth, has topped 1,000 points in a fine career at Fairfield University. Foul on Baumgart was her second, and the 7th team foul. It was a shooting foul anyway, but the 7th team foul, so it is a bonus situation now for Fairfield. Now Rath checks back in for Loyola. Grossarth back in for Fairfield.
I think Doug made an excellent point before the game, saying that this is one of the most talented teams in the Metro Atlantic Conference. I mean, you're talking about Driscoll, who was a second-team performer last year, first team this year. Grossarth, who was actually the player of the year last year, first-team performer this year. They have had some skilled players on the floor.
Well, a few years back, they lost to this Loyola team in the final. And in '96, they ran into a Manhattan team that was just on a major roll. Wanda Camps was healthy. She had a great tournament, and Manhattan actually blew out Fairfield in that title game in '96 here in Albany. Grossarth pulls up for the 3, no good. Tries to follow the shot, but the Greyhounds come out of the pack. Cohen down the middle, right side. Cooney, partially blocked by Tapley, rebound up and in.
Well, they had the 3-on-1 to start that break. Couldn't get the first one down, but the boards, ever-present second chance opportunities.
Erica Rath, her first bucket of the game, as you see. Loyola takes a 2-point lead just past the halfway mark. Driscoll trying to lean in on Rath. Good defense, and she didn't draw her 3rd foul, which was important for Loyola. And the Greyhounds go back the other way. Cohen again penetrating down the middle, takes it herself, and leaves it off the rim, no good. Rebound, popped out by Cooney, but she'll get called for traveling.
Well, we thought it would be Fairfield who would be turning the transition game on. Last 2 series, it's been Loyola. They will pick their spots. If they get numbers, they'll run. They got the bucket the first time, couldn't get one there.
Jennifer Natal checks back in for Fairfield, the junior from Sewell, New Jersey. Second on the team in assists behind Grossarth. And a foul in the front court on Loyola.
Going to be Keeney on a hold. Oh, no, he gave it to Cohen.
Well, that is their 8th team foul, so it is a 1-on-1 situation for Grossarth. 65% free throw shooter. 3rd in the MAAC in scoring this season. 2nd in assists, 5th in 3-point field goal percentage. And again, as we mentioned, honored first team All-MAAC. Front end is no good. Rebound Keeney is there for Loyola.
Grossarth went through a mid-season slump where she just wasn't shooting the basketball well, but the fact that she's second in assists in conference despite being one of the leading scorers, I think says a lot about her abilities.
20-second timeout called by Loyola. This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC properties. Interesting so far, as you look at the stats, Grossarth, scoreless, just had a chance to get in the book with the free throw, and she could not hit the front end of the 1-and-1. Kirsch, only 2 points so far. Rath, only 2 points so far. Some of the key players we've talked about. But I guess the best scorer right now, Paige Driscoll, we talked about as well. She's got 6, 4 of them on free throws. So basically neither team has gotten into any kind of an offensive flow, and I think this would benefit Loyola in the long run.
Well, this is the same sort of tempo that we saw with Siena Loyola yesterday, and Loyola was able to win that basketball game. And, you know, you and I were talking before the game about this Loyola club and how mentally tough they are and how prepared Pat has them late February, early March, and I think that's reflective of her as a player.
Chantel Williams into the front court for Paige Driscoll. Into the corner, Grossarth spots for 3 and off the glass from the side.
Now that doesn't count in pickup. She never called that. You can see she's enjoying it.
It's not an easy thing to do from the side, from the corner, bank it off the glass. So Grossarth is in the scorebook.
You give her 100 shots at that, I don't think she can do it again.
She's still smiling while she's playing defense. Mosley, Keeney, looking inside. Rath posting up, but can't hit it. She draws the foul, though. Been hearing a lot about Erica Rath. For fans who follow the MAAC, freshman from Hazlet, New Jersey, 6'2". She's had a very strong tournament despite suffering a knee injury in practice on Thursday. It has not been a problem for her as she has played 2 very good games.
Now she had 18 points, 9 boards, and really was the key performer, I thought, for Pat Coyle yesterday. Just did so much. Kirsch wasn't doing a lot of scoring. She was defending Player of the Year Melanie Hawker of Siena, and so Rath picked up the scoring burden.
Last foul on O'Connor, her first. And 5 team fouls now on Fairfield. Driscoll to Natal, looking inside for Williams, but she's fronted nicely by Corey Hewitt. Grossarth, try and create, turnaround jumper at the line is short.
Good check out by Cooney. Got to check the shooter.
Corey Hewitt, Jr. from Rockville, Maryland, the starting point guard for this Greyhounds team. 3rd in the MAAC in assists this season. Now we have a foul in the front court on O'Connor. That's her 2nd, and Fairfield is now at 6 team fouls. We have 7:48 left in this first half of the MAAC women's title game. Fairfield leads Loyola 17-16. Back with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network. Take a look at a summary of the season's Chase MAAC Players of the Week. At the top of the list, the Player of the Year in the MAAC, Melanie Hawker of Siena. And Jessica Grossarth won it a couple of times. So did Shannon Graham. Both of those players ended up on first team All-MAAC. The Chase MAAC Player of the Week brought to you by Chase Manhattan Bank. The right relationship is everything. 17-16 Fairfield over Loyola. Nip and tuck so far, as you might expect. In a MAAC championship game, 7:48 left here in the first half, and Greyhounds will put the ball in play. An automatic bid to the NCAA tournament on the line here today. Loyola and Fairfield both have been there twice representing the MAAC. Off the steal, back the other way. Chantel Williams, one of the top reserve players, first players off the bench, 6th man, if you will, in this league. Again, the hero of the game in the first round against Manhattan, hitting a basket with 0.08 seconds left in regulation to force overtime, keep Fairfield alive as the number 2 seed. They beat Manhattan, they beat St. Peter's, and here they are playing for the title. Williams inside, too strong. Rebound, batted around, Rath hangs on to it and dishes off to Hewitt. Front court, Natal tries to intercept it and knocks it out of bounds. They'll say off of Mosley. Mosley was getting set to put the ball in play. Now she is informed of the bad news, and the Stags get it back.
Good pressure out there by Fairfield to force that turnover. But, you know, Williams off the bench has been outstanding her entire career for Diane Nolan. I really think she's probably one of the best 6th players off the bench for her club and in the conference.
Well, she's had a good MAAC tournament. 33 points off the bench in 2 games. O'Connor from the corner can't hit it. Mosley grabs the rebound. One of the most athletic players in this league. Has a number of excellent moves, a good cutter, slashing type player. Has been plagued, as we mentioned, by the dislocated shoulder. Her shot has been off a little bit in the tournament, and she can't get it to fall there.
Boy, Rath has been big on both ends, and the official was a little bit slow to call that, but she just got the defensive rebound 2 plays ago, then comes down and gets an offensive board, and she continues to perform well this weekend.
So Rath back in with 2 personal fouls. Gail Strumpf remains on the bench for Fairfield with the 2 fouls. She's been there quite a while. Strumpf only has 2 points, and yet Fairfield is still up by 1, which is a good sign if you're Diane Nolan. Rath for the free throw hits it.
Yeah, gets their first opportunity. You see, a moment ago on that graphic, Fairfield's already been there 8 times.
Erica Rath, a 71% foul shooter. Really fit in very nicely with this Loyola team and made the jump from high school ball to college ball with relative ease as a freshman.
Again, it shows you what playing at a quality high school program will do for you. She played at St. John Vianney in Jersey. It's a very solid program. You try and get those type of programs coming out of high school because then kids are more prepared. They've been exposed to more things.
You always wonder, and she played on state championship teams there. You always wonder if you've had that winning experience in high school. I'm sure coaches always look for that, Doris, because that usually does translate to a player who's going to win at the collegiate level.
I think that's one of the keys when they're looking at a player. What kind of team has she played on? Has she been a winner in the past?
Well, you talk about Mosley. Her hard luck continues in this MAAC tournament. She just cannot get a shot to drop off the rebound. Mosley can't get it. Fairfield back the other way, down 1. Grossart spinning, jumper, good.
She's very tough to guard one-on-one, and she's missed a few shots here, but she's not the type of kid to stop shooting, and I think that's a mismatch with Cooney.
So Grossart has attempted more than 450 shots this season for the Fairfield Stags, easily the leader on that team. Mosley picks up the dribble, tries the foul line jumper, and hits it.
Well, that's just great patience off the pick and roll. She thought the defense went down to the block. She didn't have the pass. She holds it up. Nice, solid decision-making with the basketball.
2019 Loyola, 5:20 to go first half. First of 3 games today here at the Pepsi Arena. Grossart for the 3, gets it.
Now you got to make a switch. You got to get Cooney off of Grossart because she doesn't really have the size to match up with her. And that's twice she scored on her. They're going to keep going to her. Remember, Grossart phenomenally streaky.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, she was so quiet for the first 10+ minutes of the game, and now boom, boom, boom. She's got 8 points, 2 threes, and they're up by 2. Kirsch open inside the foul line, can't hit the short jumper. Nicholas off to the towel, and the Stags push it the other way. Grossart on the wing, in front of the Greyhounds bench. Picks up the dribble, his bump falls down, they'll call her for traveling.
That's a good no call. There was not a lot of contact right there. Grossart a little bit upset, but not a lot of contact.
We'll check the replay of Jessica Grossart in trouble in front of the Loyola bench with Cooney on her defensively.
Well, Cooney got upset. She just got scored on twice, so she plays a little bit harder. But check out the acting. That's big-time acting there.
I said bump. I don't even know if there was a bump. Maybe a brush.
A breath is more like it.
Kirsch gets called for steps on the other end, so the Stags get the ball back.
Yeah, now all of a sudden Loyola's starting to hurt themselves with turnover numbers. At one point it was 7-5 turnovers, and it was Fairfield who was having trouble. Now it's been Loyola.
Are you trying to tell me players act and try and draw fouls and draw calls from referees? I don't believe that. Molly Tapley with it for the Stags. Trying to go inside, tough pass for Strumpf to handle. She dishes it back out to Natal. Grothar, turnaround baseline jumper, and she's on her game now.
But remember I said at the beginning of the game, they threw her down on the block with Cooney on her, or with Hewitt on her. They do it again, and now a foul away from the basketball. Momentum all with Fairfield right now. So
free throws, or at least a 1-and-1, coming up for the Stags. Marianne Kirsch getting called for the foul off the ball is her first. And we'll have a 1-on-1 for Allison Thorne. Watch the basket and watch Kirsch with Thorne underneath. As you see, she kind of pushes Thorne a little bit, and they'll call that one and send her to the free throw line. Allison Thorne for the 1-and-1.
Strumpf, a very brief visit. You saw her just a second ago sitting on the bench. She had two. She came back in and went right back out.
Thorne can't hit it. Tapley, nice job on the boards. Sneaks in and gets the rebound for the Stags. Driscoll off the glass and in.
Well, Pat Coyle doesn't want to use a timeout because she knows the next dead ball is going to be a TV timeout, but Diane Nolan's club's got it going right now.
Under 4 to go first half. Stags have pulled out to the largest lead of this game at 6, 26-20. Hewitt on the wing. Rath inside to Kirsch. You go to your best player. She can't hit it. Nice tap by Cooney. Doesn't fall, though. Rebound batted around, and Thorne has it in the paint. Tied up and stolen by Kirsch on the floor. What a play. Cohen out to Hewitt. And Cohen has it on the wing. What a move by Loyola to keep that ball alive. Penetrating. Cohen with the basket.
Well, great job by Kirsch to stick with it. She missed 2 key opportunities. She had wide open looks the last 2 trips. Didn't hit it, but stays with it. Gets her team another look.
Everybody looks at points, but you can help your team in other ways, and part of it scrapping for loose balls just like that to keep a possession alive. Grossarth, baseline jumper, can't hit that one. Hewitt clears it out herself. Long pass for Cooney. 3 on 2, now 3 on 3. Kirsch to the basket, draws the foul.
Now that's a heck of a catch by Kirsch because there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of spacing when Cooney let that thing go. Well, again, transition basketball isn't synonymous with Loyola, but Cooney right there, the entry to the left lane line, and Tapley gets called for it.
Tapley gets her first personal foul, and Kirsch heads to the free throw line. Her first trip there today leaves the first one short.
Well,
Kirsch's first half today, kind of like yesterday. She had 1 field goal in the first half against Siena, had some foul trouble, then erupted in the second half, and she just has the 1 basket so far against Fairfield. As you see her numbers, even from the field and the free throw line this season. Kirsch can't hit either one, and Tapley, who got the foul, gets the rebound.
Foul shooting has cost this club some ball games. They need to be better, more efficient from that stripe.
We have an officials timeout with 2:57 left first half. Fairfield 26, Loyola 22 in the women's championship game on the MAAC television network.
Fans, don't miss your opportunity to meet WM.
Howard Simon, Doris Burke, Doug Sherburne at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Fairfield up 26-22. Diane Nolan, head coach of the Stags, looking for a 3rd trip to the NCAA tournament. 19 years at Fairfield. Last season topping the 300-win mark. Look at that career record. A great coaching career. Pat Coyle has turned around the program at Loyola. 12 straight losing seasons. She comes into town. 6 years, 4 winning seasons, and 4 trips to the MAAC tournament title game.
And if she gets the win today, she'll have won 3 titles in 6 years. That is a young woman who may not be at Loyola long. You talk about some big-time coaches on the sideline. She is one who is, I think, destined for a big-time job.
Hewitt, Keeney, Loyola down 4 here. Hewitt looking inside for Rath. They're trying to double her and take it away. Rath has it. 3 bodies around her. Ball comes free. Mosley has it. They don't reset the shot clock. 6 on the shot clock. They got to hurry. Cohen with 3. Going into the corner. Hewitt with 1 on the shot clock. Hits the 3.
Big time shot by Hewitt. Just spotted up. Knew the pass was coming to her. I thought Fairfield played great solid defense for 28 seconds. They collapse on the post, but they give up the 3.
Hewitt tries for the steal, can't get it. It'll stay. Fairfield basketball, and the towel put it in play. Corey Hewitt does lead Loyola in 3s and had a good trade there a moment ago to get this game down to 1. Tapley inside Driscoll, bodied and fouled by Rath, and that would be number 3 on Erica Rath.
That's a big one.
Now she's got to go out for the rest of the half.
Well, that not only changes the complexion of this last 2:10 in the first half, but it changes the complexion of the first 7 or so minutes of the second half for Rath. And it doesn't look like there's a whole heck of a lot of contact down there. Well, you know, really, you could go either way. I mean, I don't think that's a no call, especially in a championship game.
Because both players really initiated contact.
Yeah.
Driscoll's driving, Rath is trying to hold form and bumping a little bit.
Yeah, Driscoll leaned in, actually, a little bit.
So Rath with 3 personal fouls goes to the bench with 4 points today. We talked about one of the keys was post play, the battle of the paint, both ends of the floor, and a big key in the battle of the paint for Loyola is now sitting on the bench with 3 fouls. Good numbers for Paige Driscoll today, but as Pat Coyle said, as Paige goes, so go the Stags, and Driscoll has been the leading scorer today. Can't hit the second one, so it's 27-25 Fairfield as we approach 2 minutes left in the first half.
Now you try and survive this last 2 minutes because you got both Kirsch and Raff on the bench. You're going to leave Kirsch out of this ball game.
Susan Bryce has checked in for Loyola, 6'1" senior from Strasburg, PA. Mosley keeps it in on the far wing. Mosley off the screen. Jumper is an air ball. Rebound Thorne. Outlet for Tapley. Break not there. Tapley gets to the trailer Thorne. Back to Tapley. Trying to get it to Driscoll, but Bryce doing a nice job defensively on her. Grossarth now down low again. Bryce tips it away. They tried to get it to Driscoll, but Bryce held her ground, anticipated that pass, and batted it away.
Good fundamental defense down there on the baseline. You want to be in front down there because you're too close to the basket.
Hewitt, stutter step move, drives baseline, cut off by Driscoll. Cross-court pass is intercepted by Natal.
I think both these clubs very solid defensively. We talked a lot about Loyola, but Fairfield also very solid down there.
Under 1 minute to go as Tapley launches the three and hits it. Her second three of the game.
Wow, that is a big-time shot, and she had some range on that one. She was out there a bit.
That thing was bringing down rain, too. It was pretty hot. 5-point lead now for the Stags. Mosley, Hewitt on the wing. Bryce did not play against Siena, but had 15 in the win over Manhattan in the quarters. Mosley in the corner, 6 on the shot clock. Mosley drives and draws the foul.
Well, Mosley, the one player on this team, I think, who can use the dribble to get herself some shots. When Loyola scores baskets, they typically do it off screens. They run a lot of pick and rolls on the sides of the floor, and Mosley, that's off the pit, gets herself a little bit closer into the free throw line.
Gina Mosley at the foul line. Foul on Holly Tapley, her second. Mosley's first trip to the foul line today. 54% free throw shooter. You see the junior from Marion Station, Pennsylvania, gets the first free throw. One more coming. She's got 5 points. Diane Nolan signaling for a 20-second timeout. Her club holding on to the 4-point lead with 27 seconds left. Obviously, you know the importance of the game. The automatic bid to the NCAA tournament is on the line, but this is a little bit different than the men's tournament. I mean, there is a chance, like if Iona doesn't win the men's tournament, there's a good chance they could be an at-large team. It's very difficult for a women's team from the MAAC especially to get that at-large bid. The men always have the NIT to fall back on, like Ryder's trying to do right now. Again, very difficult. There aren't that many. It's not like the men's setup with the NCAA and NIT. This team, this MAAC tournament, you got to win this game. You know it's all on the line here.
No question. I mean, these mid-level conferences, it definitely takes a win in the tournament. You see the tournament final appearances. Loyola's been there 4 times, 2-1, but Fairfield, the onus on them. They're 0-3, and they're 0-2 in finals against Loyola.
Yeah, their wins in the MAAC tournament came in 88 and 91. 91, of course, the tournament was already here in Albany. Mosley, the second free throw, no good. Thorne grabs the rebound for the Stags. They can't hold for one.
Yeah, that's why Diane called the 20, because she wanted to set up the offensive play that she wanted. Who is going to get the shot here?
It is Driscoll off the glass and in with 16 left, so Loyola can come back and get another possession. Driscoll's got 11. The lead, again, as large as it's been, it's 6. 5 on the clock. Hewitt still far out. 3 on the clock, too. Hewitt's going to have to launch the 3, and it's an air ball.
I thought Grossarth hit her for sure. Coming up on that shot.
First half in the record books. And the second seed Stags lead Loyola 32-26. Back at the Pepsi Arena in the moment on the MAAC Television Network.
450 years of Jesuit tradition are woven into a Fairfield University education, an education characterized by academic excellence and service to the community. This success is fostered by a caring faculty that knows their students as individuals. Located just an hour from New York City, Fairfield combines a park-like campus conducive to learning with the city's cultural and career advantages. Fairfield University, where education reflects the challenges and opportunities of a changing world.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Arena in Albany, the MAAC Women's Championship game. Halftime, and Loyola trailing Fairfield 32-26. Howard Simon along with Doris Burke and Doug Sherman. And as you look at this first half, we thought that one of the keys would be the post play, the battle of the paint. And the battle of the paint, it's kind of not been a factor, to be honest with you, because there's been foul trouble. Erica Rath got into foul trouble, the freshman for Loyola. She has 1 field goal and 2 free throws. Gail Strump got into foul trouble. Her minutes were severely limited. But so that has not materialized, and maybe that's one reason why Fairfield is up 6 at this point.
Well, I think the 2 players that we focused on in the open, Paige Driscoll and Jessica Grossarth, came up big. They had 22 points between them in the first half. At one point, Grossarth really took over the basketball game. I think she scored like 6 straight. And Loyola hurt themselves in the first half. They had 14 first-half turnovers. This is a team that focuses on the defensive end of the floor. They did a good job there, but they need to cut those numbers down, give themselves more opportunities to score in the second half.
Yeah, Diane Nolan talked about it. Head coach at Fairfield said, yes, battle in the paint is key, but we're going to have to open this game up from the perimeter. And Grossarth was cold early on, but then she did start hitting her shots, and that really opened up the game, and that's where Fairfield opened up a little bit of a lead, not a big one, but a 6-point lead.
Well, they were 4 of 8 from three-point territory, and I thought Holly Tapley coming off the bench gave them a real spark. She drained those 2 threes, and that was when they were able to spread it out to this 6-point margin.
Let's take a look at the standings from the 1997-98 MAAC regular season. Siena, the top seed, won their first 14 MAAC games, went 2-2 in their final 4 and were eliminated in the semis. Fairfield, who are, of course, playing today at 14-4. St. Peter's, who Fairfield beat in the semis. And Loyola, the top 4, certainly the elite in the league this season. Iona had a great season, their best MAAC record ever. Niagara finished at 8-10. Then Manhattan, Ryder, Marist, and Canisius. The seeds held true to form as the top 4 advanced on to the semifinals, and we're now at the 2nd and 4th seed in the tournament. The standings brought to you by Citizens Communications. And let's check out some of the scores from the tournament brought to you by Mazda. It started with the first round and Manhattan advancing, and Ryder at that point in the quarters. Manhattan thought they had Fairfield eliminated, the 7th seed on the verge of upsetting the 2 seed, but Fairfield forced overtime and moved on. Niagara and St. Peter's, as you see, Siena with a win over Ryder in the quarterfinals, and Loyola beat Iona to set up the semifinals yesterday, and a dogfight for both of these teams that moved on. Fairfield beating St. Peter's, and Loyola upsetting the top seed, if you will, upsetting. I don't think Loyola thought it was an upset, beating Siena yesterday. And here are the brackets and how it has come to this point. The 2nd seed Fairfield advancing from their half to meet Loyola, who is advanced from their half. And I think, you know what, I think Loyola did feel that they weren't getting enough recognition, especially playing against Siena. As you can imagine, Albany, when everybody was talking about Siena, I think Pat Coyle played up that lack of respect angle, and I even think today a lot of people probably expect the higher seed to win, and I'm sure she told her kids about that a little bit.
Well, Pat Coyle's the only 4 seed to ever win the tournament. That was back in 1994. She won it as a 2 seed in 95, but her kids are prepared to play at the end of the year. But this has been a defensive struggle. Diane Nolan's club doing an outstanding job on the defensive end as well.
And Diane Nolan's club is up 32-26 at halftime. Fairfield leads Loyola in the MAAC Women's Championship game, and we're back with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network.
The Internet. Billions of miles of cable connecting employers with some of the best and brightest minds in the country. The students and alumni of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Career Centers. To advertise your full-time, part-time, or internship opportunity, contact your Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Career Center or call JobTrack, 800-999-TRACK.
This game is brought to you in part by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. By Pepsi Cola, Pepsi, Generation Next. By GMAC and the GM College Grad Program. By Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The New York Lottery, they're the hottest tickets in town. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Mazda.
It is the 1998 MAAC tournament from the Pepsi Arena in Albany, the Women's Championship game, and the 2nd seed Fairfield Stags 20 minutes away from a berth in the NCAA tournament. They lead Loyola 32-26. It has been an exciting season for women's basketball in the MAAC. Right now, let's take a look back at some of the top plays of the 97-98 season for the women. Still have another half at least of the MAAC championship game. We'll check out the first half stats and bring you the second half of the action in a moment on the MAAC Television Network.
You
can pick. Time of the women's championship game at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. 32-26. Fairfield leads Loyola. The teams are back out. We're getting set for the second half. That's coming up next on the MAAC Television Network.
I love Manhattan College. I don't like it. I love it. It's my life.
Back at the Pepsi Arena in Albany earlier today here at the arena, the MAAC Way program, Women Assisting Youth. And in town to help out at the program, a very special guest, Teresa Weatherspoon, very talented basketball player, star of the WNBA's New York Liberty, talking to the kids on hand. And a great moment for Teresa, who said last night, Doris, she was looking forward to talking to the youth. And I'm sure the kids here, who look up to her as a role model, had a great time this morning as well.
Yeah, she's a great player. The point guard for the New York Liberty led them to the championship game, and you can see the kids obviously very caught up in what Teresa is saying. She is as good a speaker as there is and as good a role model as there is for young women today.
Great player in college, Olympic gold medalist as well. Teresa Weatherspoon here at the MAAC Way program. Here are your stats. First half, neither team shooting particularly well, as you see. Free throws not that great either. Turnovers a lot, and 14 for Loyola really jumps off the page, and look what it's turned into for Fairfield.
Yeah, shooting numbers pretty much even up. They both got the same number of shots. It's the turnovers that crushed Loyola. They did not do a good a job as making Fairfield pay for their turnovers.
Yeah, you see the top scorers, Driscoll and Grossart, the big weapons so far for Fairfield. And you don't see Marianne Kirsch on that list for Loyola, and that's been a big key. She's been held to just 2 points in the first half. Loyola on the offense. There's Kirsch right away trying to go for the shot, and it's stuffed by Gail Strumpf. Diving to the ground for the rebound is Natal, off to Strumpf and to Driscoll in the front court. Jennifer Natal, number 12, the point guard for Fairfield. Jessica Grossart, number 14, that's Paige Driscoll, 32. Gail Strumpf, the MAAC Rookie of the Year, 35. And Yvette Nicholas, 24. The same starting five for the Stags from the first half. On the baseline, the ball stripped away and stolen. Corey Hewitt, point guard for Loyola, in the backcourt as well. Number 20, Teresa Cooney. The front line, 33, Erica Rath, 32, Marianne Kirsch, 40, Jennifer Bongard. Same starting five for them. Inside to Rath, and right away she gets a bucket. That's important for Loyola. She's got 6. Erica Rath was quiet in the first half, limited by 3 personal fouls, just 1 bucket and 4 points. She needs to get going with Kirsch if Loyola's going to come back and win this game.
Well, they score off pick and rolls off the high-low set. They did there, but Driscoll continues to be a factor. She had 11 first-half points.
5 of them at the foul line. She was creating and driving in the paint and drawing some fouls, just like she did there. And back to the free throw line, Paige Driscoll will go. A senior from Devon, Pennsylvania. First-team All-MAAC, second-team All-MAAC last season. And she has been around for, as Doug Sherman pointed out at the beginning, couple of those MAAC tournament losses, one to Loyola, one to Manhattan. And we know that she and Jessica Grossart want to close their career with a MAAC championship here this afternoon. Driscoll will hit them both. 13 for her, 34-28, a little over a minute in, second half.
Well, I think in this second half, you're going to have to see Kirsch and Rath stay on the floor and stay out of foul trouble. Important Rath not pick up that 4th personal early here in the second half.
The last foul was on Kirsch, her second. Cooney in the corner. The inside, Kirsch trying to get around Strumpf, who blocks the shot and comes down with the ball.
Well, Strumpf missed a lot of time in that first half. She had 2 personal fouls, but she's gotten 2 quick blocks. This Fairfield comes in leading the conference in blocks, almost 4 a game.
Strumpf on her own had 46 blocks this season. 5 blocks for Fairfield, 1 for Loyola. The Greyhounds back on offense, trailing 6. That has been the largest lead of the game for Fairfield at a couple of points in the first half. And again here, early second half. Bongard into Kirsch, doubled, kicks it back out for the 3 from Hewitt. No good. Grossart with the weak side rebound.
When she shot that shot, she was on the professional 3-point line. She was way out there.
Dow moving right baseline to Strumpf around Kirsch. Draws the foul. That's 3 on Marianne Kirsch.
So now you got 2 players with 3 personal fouls. Diane Nolan will continue to attack down there.
Now, what do you do if you're Pat Coyle? You don't want to take Marianne Kirsch out, but she does have 3 fouls, and Rath is in the game with 3 fouls. Yet you're down 6, and you can't let Fairfield make a run here. So,
well, great position right there by Strumpf. She just got bottom side and put Kirsch in jail, but I think what you do is you sort of spell them. Mosley's going to check into the ballgame for, I think, either Kirsch or Rath, and what you do is you play them separately and for stretches. She's actually going to come in for Cooney, so I'm a little bit surprised. I think you'll see maybe as this game goes on, you'll see one of them check out, maybe sit for 4 minutes, then the other one will come back in, the other one can sit for 4 minutes. You got to spread it out.
Strumpf hits the first free throw. 3 points on the game. There's another one for Gail Strumpf, limited by foul trouble in the first half because she's had a very strong tournament. 31 points, 26 boards in the first 2 games. An 8-point lead now for the Stags. And Coach maybe Pat Coyle says that can't take either Kirsch or Rath out now. She doesn't want the game to get away from her, even though there's still 17-plus minutes to go. Mosley pulls up for the jumper, no good. Kirsch with the offensive rebound, gets Strumpf up in the air and puts it off the glass.
Well, good recognition. She just got her shot blocked twice by Strumpf, so she uses the up fake, and that gets Strumpf off her feet, and then she can shoot the shot.
Dow to Driscoll. Driscoll to Strumpf. A unanimous choice for Rookie of the Year in the balloting. The pass thrown away. Grossarth can't handle it. And Loyola gets it back. Cindy O'Connor will check in for Yvette Nicholas. Both of these teams looking for a 3rd MAAC championship. Pass is coming right to us.
That's a real tough pass to make if you're Strumpf. You're way out beyond the 3-point arc, and you try and thread the needle. Not a good look.
Mosley driving baseline, has the shot blocked, but she draws the foul. Driscoll and O'Connor were both there defensively, and looks like it's going to go against Paige Driscoll at will, and that is her first foul. Fairfield 2-3 in the MAAC championship game, wins in 88-91 under Diane Nolan, but then losses in 94, 95, and 96. Ironically, 2 of those to Fairfield, 94 and 90, or rather, I'm to Loyola in 94 and 95 as Mosley hits the free throw.
Pat Coyle, of course, a great player at Rutgers. One of the all-time off guards there. Won a national championship in the AIAW tournament in 1982. She was the MVP of that. Has coached under some great ones. Lynn Dunn at Miami, Teresa Grentz at Rutgers, and Jim Foster. She was with him at St. Joseph's. Jim's now at Vanderbilt.
To the Lex and O's in the 22nd timeout. During halftime of selected MAAC basketball games, GMAC and the GM College Grad Program are proud to sponsor the GMAC Shootout. Grads, now is the time to reward yourself. See your participating GM dealer for details. Both coaches pretty confident coming into the game today and saying that their teams are, they'd be natural to be somewhat nervous, but neither coach thought there was a great amount of tightness for either of their club coming into the game today.
Now, Diane's club was picked to win the regular season. They had a tough stretch early on in the year. They played some tough opponents. That might help prepare them down the stretch of this thing.
They played very well down the stretch of the season. Came in as one of the hotter teams into the MAAC tournament, along with St. Peter's, who the Stags knocked off yesterday in the semifinals. Loose ball. Driscoll comes up with it back to the towel, and she'll try the 3, leaves it too hard. Grossart there for the rebound, basket, and foul. Now, Kirsch was there with Cooney. We'll see who they call it on. And Grossart, who heated up in the first half to help Fairfield take the lead, has got a chance for a 3-point play. And I'm sorry, they'll call this on Corey Hewitt. That is her first personal foul.
Oh, great job by Grossart. She's obviously got size. Right down there on Hewitt, just gets inside position. You can see Hewitt's caught behind, and the personal foul right there.
Grossart completes the 3-point play, and she's got 13, 39, 32 as Fairfield stretches the lead to 7. 3.5 minutes in. On guard to Mosley. Trying to drive baseline, double, bounce pass, back to Kirsch. That's Hewitt directing traffic. On guard in the corner.
See,
setting the screen.
Yeah, everything's off pick and rolls, or you see him pass to the high post and try and go down low.
Kirsch in the block and hits it and draws the foul on Strumpf. And that is the 3rd foul on Gail Strumpf.
Well, that's as big as as the 3 fouls on both Rath and Kirsch. Gail Strumpf, your Rookie of the Year, gets caught behind here. Just really isn't working too hard on the post defense. She allows Kirsch to get position, stands behind, and then just sort of goes with her to pick up her third. You got to move your feet down there on the block. Try and get on either side and deny the basketball.
O'Connor goes out. Thorne comes in for Fairfield. Kirsch to try and complete the three-point play. Cannot. Rebound. Driscoll. Kirsch has 6. The lead is 5 for the Stags. Allison Thorne in the corner. Back to Driscoll. She and Grossarth, the 2 big offensive weapons in that first half. Thorne, corner jumper, no good. All green jerseys there. Mosley grabs the board.
Well, again, they drop back into a little bit of a zone. You rebound better out of a zone than you do out of man-to-man typically.
Bongard and Mosley. Rath trying to get position down low with Thorne. Kirsch looking there, gets it to her. Rath double, nice kick out. Bongard will not try the 3, drives closer, baseline jumper good.
That's just quality offensive production right there. You play 2-man basketball, you go inside, you go outside. Rath kicks it to the shooter, who has to use the up fake. Good execution.
Well, they know, Rath and Kirsch know, when they get it down there, they're going to be doubled, sometimes tripled, so a good job of kicking it out. Struck the leaner and off the glass and in.
Wow, she had a solid double team with Rath and Mosley on her, had to step through, really had no other option than to shoot it.
6 for Gail Strumpf, from the lead back to 5. 5 minutes in, second half. Hewitt, Bongard. Mosley calls out a play. Bounce pass, Rath looking backdoor. Hewitt, baseline. Great dish to Kirsch. He can't finish. Ball out of bounds off of Fairfield and Grossarth. Pretty passing by the Greyhounds. We have 14:48 left in the second half. 41-36, Stags over the Greyhounds. Back in a moment on the MAAC Television Network.
Marist is a small liberal arts college with a national reputation for excellence in teaching. State-of-the-art technology at Marist helps students prepare for graduate school or business. Marist received the Cause Award as one of the top 4 colleges in the use of technology in and out of the classroom, along with Cornell, Stanford, and Duquesne universities. Marist's 150-acre riverfront campus is in the heart of the historic Hudson River Valley, 75 miles from New York City. To find out more about Marist, call 1-800-436-5483.
Corey Hewitt is going to control tempo, make a beautiful behind-the-back pass to her teammate Kirsch, who ends up blowing this layup. That is a tough shot to miss off the beautiful look from your point guard. And Pat Coyle said how important Corey Hewitt is to this club. She was huge in the semifinal. You see her numbers today. She continues to control tempo, and as we get under 15 minutes here, she's going to be key.
And a few words from head coach Pat Coyle as Corey Hewitt heads back out on your next trip to the Capital District for business, pleasure, or the MAAC tournament. Why not stay at the full-service Omni Hotel? The Omni, just 1 block from the Pepsi Arena in downtown Albany. For reservations, call 518-462-6611. Hewitt inbound on the baseline. Loyola trying to cut into the 5-point lead. Bongard pops the 3, around and out. Rath can't handle the rebound, and we've got a foul off the ball on Fairfield.
A good set off the inbound. Bongard hung it up there long enough for her teammates to step into position.
Fouls on Grossarth. That's her second. Both teams with 3 team fouls. Hewitt again to Bongard. First of 3 games. Mentioned we got a couple more coming up tonight. The men's semifinals here at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Doug Sherman, Glenn Concert back at work after a late night last night into the early morning. Iona and Loyola at 6, and that'll be followed by Manhattan and the hometown Siena Saints, who had an amazing come-behind victory over Canisius last night in the quarters. Mosley, baseline jumper, hits it with 5 on the shot clock.
Well, Fairfield in a little bit of a zone. They weren't having much happen, but Mosley snuck along the baseline right behind the defense.
Trap that time, and then Hewitt tries to knock the ball off of Grossarth cannot, so Fairfield will maintain possession. They're picking up the defensive pressure, trying to force a turnover. They are down 3, approaching 6 minutes into the second half. Tapley's hit a couple of big threes in this game. Inside to Strumpf, drives, and in and out. Around and out for Gail Strumpf, who got around Marianne Kirsch, who's got to be a little careful with the 3 fouls.
Great check out by Kirsch. You're right, she did go right around, so Kirsch had to work to get position back. If
Bongard, bounce pass Hewitt.
If you're Fairfield, I think you continue to go down to Strumpf because Kirsch and Rath are both going to be careful now.
Rath looking backdoor instead, dumps it inside to Kirsch. Nice post up, but she can't hit the short shot. A little hard off the glass and rim, and Strumpf clears out the rebound.
And that's Strumpf working with 3, too. She's got to be careful in the defensive end.
Yeah, both teams have their key post players in some foul trouble. The 3 is no good. Bongard back the other way. Mosley 1-on-2. Mosley will pull up for the jumper and hit it. That's the Gina Mosley we saw.
Yeah, she
we know from the MAAC.
Can excel in the open floor and does there.
Timeout called by Fairfield. As the lead is now down to 1, they're trying to figure out if it's a 20 or a full. It is a full timeout, so we'll take a break. 13:08 left. Fairfield 41, Loyola 40. Back with more in Albany on the MAAC Television Network. Let's take a look at a summary of this season's Chase MAAC Rookies of the Week. Fairfield, the unanimous, yeah, I can talk, choice for Rookie of the Year, Gail Strumpf, leading the way. We should also tell you that Gail Strumpf, let me correct something, has just 2 fouls. The third personal foul I thought was on Strumpf was on Cindy O'Connor, so just 2 fouls for Gail Strumpf. Loyola has cut it to 1 with a run of 12-5, the last 4:01.
And this is the last bucket in that run. Gina Mosley in the open floor. She's all right-handed, so if you're Fairfield and you defend, you jump to the right shoulder. Fairfield doesn't do it. Mosley gets the bucket. She's got 11 and 4. We said she is a key contributor for this club.
She tries to intercept the inbounds pass, can't hang on to it. One of the keys for this Loyola team, balance offensively. It's not a team where you get one big player to burst out. They need 3 players in double figures or 3 or 4 players with around 8 or 9 points each. That's when they win basketball games. Right now, Mosley's the only player in double figures at 11. Bongard has 5, Rath has 6, Kirsch has 6. Strumpf, the driving shot right of the lane, no good. Thorne with the rebound, draws the foul.
Well, the pressure forces the basketball into the hands of Strumpf. She takes an ill-advised shot, but, you know, you play the pressure defense. You get the person shooting a shot that you maybe don't want them to shoot, and then you go ahead and give up an offensive rebound. And that's Rath getting beat to the spot right there by Thorne. Nice job by Allison Thorne, a 6'3 sophomore, to go ahead and get her team a second look.
Foul number 3 on Bongard. Thorne to the free throw line, hits the first shot. Her first point of the game. Allison Thorne, a first-team All-New York State player at August Martin High School in Queens, New York, rather. PSAL City champs, too, in 1996. Can't hit that free throw. Out of bounds, fighting for it, Strumpf and Kirsch, and it'll be Fairfield ball.
Well, the bounce is starting to go Diane Nolan's club's way. Loyola had made the great run to get it to 2.
Driscoll turnaround in the paint is off the rim, no good. Rebound. Bongard to Hewitt.
Boy, Bongard's an interesting story. I mean, she has had surgery on both legs, has had a muscle problem, and it's difficult to describe, but Pat Coyle says she's playing on nothing but guts.
Kirsch travels with the move in the lane. It's called compartment syndrome, and neither one of us was pre-med. Suffice to say, as you mentioned, it's a muscle problem. She has constant soreness in her legs at practice, at play. Even though she did have the surgery, she is still playing through constant pain.
Yeah, they actually went in and they cut the muscle, and it was something to do with allowing some room for those muscles to expand. But she really is in tremendous pain. Practice game, she just wants to be on the floor.
Driscoll can't hit the runner. Loyola's got some numbers coming back the other way. 4 on 3. Hewitt off to Bongard. Back to Hewitt. Bongard actually redshirted last season. She played the first 6 games, then because of the problem, had to redshirt the rest of the way. Rath can't get the jumper to fall. Thorne grabs the rebound. Vitale the other way for the Stags. Nursing a 2-point lead.
Well, a lot of Loyola's looks have been good. That was a wide-open 15-foot jump shot by Rath. Kirsch has had a couple of chippies she's missed.
Rosarth trying to fight down low. Now springs out with Hewitt on her. Baseline jumper by Strumpf, no good, but a foul called. Rath and Kirsch were both there.
So now one of them's
going on Rath. One of them will have 4 fouls no matter what.
Right. And this is just good execution. You know, the bounce pass right there from Driscoll. Used the bounce to get herself an angle, and they had the double team. And they got her caught on the baseline side, but Strumpf still able to come up with something.
It is on Erica Rath, and that is her 4th foul. Pat Coyle ready to bring in Diana Keeney is at the scorer's table. But first, free throws for Gail Strumpf.
And that's critical. Although Keeney played well the second time these two teams played with 11 points, 4 boards. Rath has been playing extremely well this weekend in the MAAC tournament. So I think what you'll see is her step out for maybe 3 or 4 minutes and then come back into this ball game.
Well, Rath had 27 points in the first 2 games and 14 boards, but because of the foul trouble, has been limited to 6 points this afternoon. Strumpf back at the line for the second free throw. She now has 8. 44-40, 11:39 and counting left in regulation play. We have had a few overtimes here this weekend, men and women, so we make sure it is regulation play, we say.
As you mentioned, Fairfield had their overtime in the quarterfinal against Manhattan. Had to take a last-second shot to tie it, to put it into overtime.
Well, the men had 2 more overtimes in their 4 quarterfinal games yesterday. As Mosley drives, she is fouled before the shot, obviously.
It's going to be on Williams, and I think she gets called for a hold.
Neither team over the limit yet. First personal on Chantel Williams, 4th team foul. Loyola has 5 team fouls. Kirsch in the paint. Left side, Cohen. Look inside to Keeney. Nice cross-court pass. Mosley, jumper off the glass around and out. Rebound, Kirsch went over the top, and that is 4 on Marianne Kirsch. A very costly foul for Loyola.
Now that's critical, because now you got 2 and 4. I think you got to keep one of them on the floor.
Boy, and there are 3 white jerseys. I mean, you have the enthusiasm. You always want to get the loose ball, but there was no way Kirsch was getting in there.
No,
3
you're
jerseys
exactly
boxed
right.
her out.
No shot of making the play. You got to step back. She's a junior.
So Kirsch, with the 4th foul, will now go out. Susan Bryce checks in, so your 2 top post players, Rath and Kirsch, are out for Loyola. Down 4, 10:58 to go. Obviously, mark it down in the scorebook. This is a key stretch for the Greyhounds. For that matter, the Stags will try and open it up. Grossarth off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound, Williams right there, up and draws the foul, and there's the immediate impact of not having Rath and Kirsch down there for defensive boards.
They check out of the ball game. You immediately become susceptible to this kind of thing. Fairfield's going to work the offensive glass hard. Grossarth puts it up. Strump's there. Williams is there. They're going to go pound you now. And Williams, go ahead, puts it up with a body on her. Couldn't get it to drop, but it's critical now. Down 4 when 2 players go out with 4.
Williams with 2 free throws. Bongard, by the way, picked up that last foul. That is her 4th personal. And now she will go out, so they get even smaller.
You can't keep both of them out. I mean, the spread is 5. You're approaching 10 minutes. You know, you don't want this lead to get out of hand. I don't think you can keep them both on the bench. I think you got to play one then the other for a while.
Chantel Williams, like Grossarth and Driscoll, the senior, wanting to get that MAAC championship before she leaves Fairfield, hits both free throws. It's a 6-point lead. It's been as high as 7 for the Stags. Loyola's been playing from behind for a good part of the game now, going back into the early portions of the first half. Mosley looking inside, and nothing there.
Well, who scores for you now, too, if you're Loyola?
It's got to be Mosley. Although Bryce had a big game in the opener against Iona, so she can do it. But she did not play at all in the win over Siena yesterday. Hewitt, jumper good, 3-pointer.
Now that's twice when the shot clock was under 4, where Hewitt just steps up, nice, calm, shoots the jump shot and drains it. That's big time.
46-43, approaching the halfway point of the second half. Stags maintaining the lead. Natal, bounce pass, Strumpf doubled at the block, kicks it back out, and it's called for traveling before she does so. The defense interior for Susan Bryce on that one, forcing the turnover.
Well, Hewitt is not known as being a scorer for Pat Coyle. She only averages 7.5 points per game, as we said. She's 3rd in assists, almost 5 assists per game. But we've shown her, as you see, the turnover numbers fairly even as well. She is a kid who can stroke the J.
Inside pass to Bryce through her hands, but rolls to Keeney, who can't hit the layup but draws the foul. Nice little lucky roll, or in the right place, I guess, at the right time for Loyola, and they'll go to the foul line.
Well, but again, that's the kind of shot where Diana Keeney really should have put that home. And those are the kind of shots where if Loyola doesn't win this ball game, they're going to look back and say, hey, we missed some key opportunities, some wide open opportunities.
Keeney, the freshman from Towanda, 15 points in the 2 games against Fairfield during the regular season. Again, those were split, the home team winning both times, and obviously now they're on the neutral court. Keeney with 3 points after hitting that free throw. Holly Tapley comes back into Strumpf. 3 players on her. Nice dish to Grossarth. Can't hit the layup.
That's Thorne over the top. Good job by Keeney getting a body on her. She had been burned earlier in the game by Thorne, steps up this time.
Well, one of two things can happen when you lose two key players to foul trouble. Some teams might fold, others will just kind of band together, and those other players who are asked to come in and step up will take over and help this team make it through a critical time. So far, that's what's happening with Loyola.
Grossarth and Natal both on the bench. Tapley in the ballgame for Fairfield, but I think she's going to take a full timeout. Pat Coyle will indeed use a full.
9:27 left, second half. Loyola with the ball, down 1 to Fairfield in the MAAC title game. Back with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network. Let's take a look now at the final Citizens Communications long-distance shooter standings. Jean-Marie Lesko from Marist leading the way. Nobody left from these two teams as far as in the top 5. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC, once again the proud sponsor of the MAAC Long Distance Shooter of the Year. Foul trouble, a key to this game at this point. Loyola in more foul trouble than Fairfield with Rath and Kirsch, both still on the bench with 4 fouls. Bongard is there as well, and O'Connor, a reserve player, the biggest problem right now for Fairfield with 3. But despite the foul trouble, Loyola with the ball and a chance to take the lead here for the first time since the first half. Hewitt, starting point guard, directing traffic, trying to get Mosley out of bounds off of Driscoll. 9 on the shot clock.
Now you got to go quick hit, and if anyone's going to break you down off the dribble for this club, it's going to be Mosley. So she'll inbound and maybe look to get it back.
Bounce pass for Hewitt. They try for the strip. Hewitt sees the opening, penetrates, lays it up, no good. Rebound, Thorne comes out of there with it and gets called for traveling.
Yeah, she tripped right over Hewitt, but yeah, I mean, Hewitt was on the floor. She wasn't initiating any kind of contact there. So they'll get a new 30 and another look on penetration. See, Hewitt knows she's in trouble because she's got no time on the clock. Just throws it up, hoping to get a look. Doesn't go, though.
So again, a possession for the lead for Loyola. Hewitt looking inside for Bryce. They slack off. She'll pop it in and out. Rebound, Thorne. 8:50 to go as Fairfield moves into the front court. Pressure building on both teams as you get closer and closer towards the end with the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament on the line. Williams driving right baseline, runs into Keeney and gets called for charging.
Great rotation by Keeney. She was on the weak side of the floor, but, you know, team defense dictates you are aware of where your offensive players are. She steps over, she recognizes her teammates beat, and yes, indeed, take the charge. Good play.
Third foul on Chantel Williams. Now, both teams are in the bonus. That's player control, so it's a possession, not free throws, but we are 1-1 for both teams at this point on the next foul. Another possession for a chance to take the lead for Loyola. Hewitt to Keeney. Bryce at the foul circle. Keeney just bowled over Thorne. Wow. And I believe we're calling it on Thorne. Nope. Let's see.
They're going to give it to Keeney.
Keeney. Okay.
Makes a good play down one end, then makes a turnover on this end with the foul. And this not player control, so there will be some free throws on the ball movement. She steps in, and she just really puts a licking on Thorne.
So Thorne will go to the line for a 1-1. A 51% free throw shooter. Second foul on Keeney, number 8 on the team. All net.
So Diane Nolan's club in the driver's seat because you'll see Thorne has been contributing on the backboards, but both those players still out right now for Pat Coyle. She's elected not to play either of them. Her team has responded.
Both teams have gotten good contributions off the bench in this game. Mosley with 11 for Loyola. Tapley a couple of threes for Fairfield. Thorne, as we just saw, good job on the board. So some players have stepped it up in a reserve role. Back to a 3-point lead for Fairfield. Cohen off to Hewitt. A couple of good ball handlers in the game there now for Loyola. Hewitt, Cohen in the corner. Looking for some help. Keeney will set a screen. Cohen pops out. Back to Keeney. Deflected by Strumpf and off to Nicholas.
A good recovery. You see, Strumpf changed players on the pick and roll, and then once you saw her teammate recovered, she went and recovered, made the steal. That's good, solid defense.
Now Strumpf posting up inside with Bryce trying to get the ball. Tapley on the perimeter. Strumpf pops out, has it, foul line. Right side, Grossart. She's been quiet in this second half after exploding late first half for a bunch of points to help Fairfield take the lead. Ball is kicked out of bounds, so they'll reset the 30, and Fairfield will keep it. 13 points for Grossart, 13 for Driscoll, the two leading scorers for Fairfield, and in the game as well. Tapley keeps it away from Hewitt. Driscoll with the jumper, good. She was on the three-point line, so it's a two-point basket.
You got to get one of those kids back in this ball game. I think you got to get Kirsch.
Well, Bongard's going to the scorer's table.
You need some scoring, and those two are going to get you some points on the board.
7:20 and counting left. Back up to a 5-point lead. Keeney in the lane, stuffed by Strumpf. And Strumpf comes up with a loose ball. Another block added to the stat sheet for Gail Strumpf.
And now Erica Rath and Kirsch are going to get up off the bench. Bongard will come back in as well. So 3 substitutions coming next dead ball.
Grossarth driving in the lane. Jumper short. Rebound Hewitt. Grossarth goes down, holding her right arm. And she is still down as they go the other way. Mosley lays it up short. And a foul on the rebound on Fairfield. Grossarth is still in the backcourt. They have not called out the Fairfield training staff, though. Officials timeout. The foul is on Yvette Nicholas, and we'll have a 1-and-1 coming up for Loyola.
Well, I don't want to keep harping on it, but here you got a beautiful 2-on-1 opportunity. Mosley's really got the step. You got to knock those down. And they've missed some key opportunities close and some wide open looks. They will nonetheless get the free throw opportunity off the rebound foul.
So Kirsch and Rath and Bongard all back in with the 4 fouls. 1-and-1 coming up for Mosley. 3 of 4 at the line this afternoon. She earns the bonus. Let's watch Grossarth to see what happened here.
Well, she's working for the rebound against Hewitt and maybe just hits her elbow.
On the elbow?
Yeah.
She's on the bench. She's okay. I mean, she's not getting attended to by the trainer. She's getting a little breather on the bench. Mosley can't hit the second free throw. Strumpf grabs the rebound. 4-point lead for Stags in the front court. Long pass for Nicholas. Kind of a risky pass, and it goes out of bounds. 4-point lead. There's no reason to rush the ball like that.
No, absolutely. If you don't have a layup in transition, you simply pull it and use clock.
Loyola gets it back. So Rath and Kirsch went out. Loyola was down 4. They come back in, and it's now a 4-point game after the Mosley free throw. Mosley working off the screen by Kirsch. Back out Hewitt, right side Bongard. Driscoll got a piece of it. Bongard recovers. Feeds it inside. Kirsch hits the basket, but they will wipe it out and call traveling.
I think in trying to use the spin move and shake Strumpf. See, she knows she's got a fake Strumpf, but in doing so, she picked up her pivot foot. You can't just go at Strumpf straight up. She's too good a shot blocker, so she tried to shake her.
As you see the clock tick down, every possession gets so much more valuable in a 4-point game as we approach 6 minutes left. Tapley, Strumpf, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound.
Driscoll.
Yep, Driscoll went over the top. Good positioning by Loyola, good boxing out, and they'll have a 1-and-1 the other way.
That's only number 2 on Driscoll, but that's their 9th team foul, so on their next, Loyola will shoot 2.
Now, Loyola, as we mentioned on the telecast yesterday, not a very good foul shooting team. Just 65% of the regular season. A little bit better here in the MAAC tournament through the first 2 games, 68%. Bongard at the line for the 1-and-1. First trip to the free throw line this afternoon. It's all those free throws that Pac-12 made in practice. 100 a day. In practice.
That after the loss to Siena, where they were just horrific from the line and it cost them the game. And those are fundamentals. Free throw shooting fundamental to the game.
Well, that practice pays off for Bongard. And it makes it a 2-point game. 50-48. Little pressure. 3-quarter court. Tapley against Bongard. Front court for Driscoll.
Very soft 3-quarter court.
Williams on the wing.
But they are back into a little bit of a zone here.
Driscoll flashing through, can't get free. Tapley, nice look inside. Nicholas can't hit the layup. Strumpf grabs the rebound and a foul. Nope, a jump ball situation.
That's a good
call. The arrow favors Fairfield.
Good call right there by the official.
Grossarth checks back in for Fairfield, and we check out this last play.
Well, Tapley's been important all afternoon. You see the miss here by Fairfield. And Strumpf right there, just tied up. She and Kirsch. It was a quick whistle, but there was no foul.
Grossarth trying the three, and she hits it. Wow. Big shot for Jessica Grossarth, 16 points, and that opens up the lead to 5, 53-48.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that if it goes down, great shot, and if it doesn't go down, what are you thinking?
Her third three of the game. Loose ball, Tapley dives for it, knocks it free. That's Mosley, and tied up by Driscoll. This arrow will favor Loyola. Intensity picking up a little bit as we get into crunch time.
Well, in terms of seniors on the floor, you're looking in the direction of Fairfield with Grossarth and Driscoll, the two kids we talked about in the open. Driscoll makes that play.
Now you look at the Loyola roster, there's only one senior, and that is a reserve, Susan Bryce. So Pat Coyle will have everybody, the key players, back next season. Kirsch, Mosley, baseline, faking the jumper. Hewitt, 5 on the shot clock. Driscoll comes up with the steal. Hewitt chasing. Driscoll lays it up and in.
Well, I think he might go timeout here. You know, Driscoll has made 2 big plays, got the possession arrow changed back to her club, then steps in the passing lane. Seniors, seniors, seniors.
5 straight points for Fairfield. The lead now 7, equaling the largest of the game. Rath, jumper, in and out.
They have had some jumpers go in and come back out. Rath in particular, that's twice from the same spot. It looked like it was going down.
Tapley, Grossarth. Hewitt trying to draw the contact, cannot. Driscoll, jumper, leaves it short, side of the rim. Rebound, Nicholas, she can't hit the layup. Strunk fouled over the top by Rath, and she has fouled out of the game.
Well, you had 3 players in 4 foul situations. Bongard, Rath, and Hewitt. Great work by Nicholas, great work by Strump. They continue to be relentless on the backboards, particularly on the offensive end. Driscoll misses the first shot. There's Yvette Nicholas. Here comes Gail Strump. You're relentless. Good things start to happen. And we thought it would be Loyola who would dominate the offensive glass, and I think Fairfield has done a nice job hanging with them. Yeah, their board work has been very good this afternoon, and fundamentals again, Doris. The boxing out has been solid. Strump has usually had good position, as she did on that last play. Nicholas driving to the basket to follow the miss and create another possession, and eventually create a foul out of Erica Rath. 4:10 left as the freshman sits down on the bench. She is done for the afternoon with 6 points. Strump at the foul line with a 1-and-1, trying to expand on a 7-point lead. She has been a double-double girl all year long. You can see she's close on both points and rebounds to getting into the double digits.
Misses the front end. Nobody's got the rebound. Somebody gets over there. It's Bongard. So Loyola has a little life with a 7-point deficit approaching 4 minutes left. They need some points in a hurry. Mosley to Hewitt.
Well, you've got time. They don't have an explosive scorer, though, so again, it's all going to have to come out of their sets. How well will they execute?
Trying to get it to Kirsch. They do behind Nicholas. Can't hit the layup. The rebound to Kirsch. Looking for some room in the lane. Tough shot off the side of the back, the glass, and rolling free. Grossarth has it. Keeney strips it. Mosley, Hewitt will back it up and reset it. 3.5 to go. Hewitt flashes that pass inside. Strumpf intercepts it, and it's fouled from behind by Mosley. A bullet pass by Hewitt, with great anticipation by Gail Strumpf, who's done that on numerous occasions throughout this weekend here in Albany.
Well, I think Gail Strumpf has played a solid defensive game. She steps in again in the passing lane, and that's about the 4th time Strumpf has hit the floor. She might be a little bit sore, but that's Mosley's 3rd. Pat going to talk to Hewitt and let her know how she wants to run this next 3.5. Nolan's club has been solid all afternoon. She said it would be paint, play in the paint, that would determine this game. And although Strumpf below her season average in terms of point production, she's still been solid.
4 of 4 at the line today. 5 of 5. 62% free throw shooter, Gail Strumpf. There have been so many disappointments. And look at the Fairfield bench. They're all holding hands, coaches and players alike. All holding hands with 3:26 left as their team is now up 8 as they sense a MAAC championship. Strumpf makes it 9. We'll be back in a moment. We'll see if Fairfield can hang on for their first title since 1991. We'll return in a moment on the MAAC Television Network.
This game is brought to you in part by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. By Pepsi Cola, Pepsi, Generation Next. By GMAC and the GM College Grad Program. By Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The New York Lottery, they're the hottest tickets in town. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Mazda.
Diane Nolan wondering if her team can hang on and get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years. They have the largest lead of the game. It is now 9. As you see, clock ticking, 3:25 and down. Left, Loyola is running out of time. Shannon Cohen on the far wing in front of the Greyhounds bench. Bounce pass to Hewitt. Hewitt looking for Mosley. Instead, they'll go inside Keeney. Nice pass to Kirsch. Open for a moment and lays it up too hard. And then is bumped on the rebound. Nicholas, I believe, is going to get that foul.
Well, she'll get the opportunity, and I think this, well, it actually will be 2 shots regardless. It was on the floor after she missed the bunny.
Check that. It is on Strumpf, and that is her 3rd foul. Both teams are at 10 fouls. 2 shots for Marianne Kirsch, who has been limited by foul problems today and has just 6 points. The average is 14, and that has been her average through the first 2 MAAC tournament games. Gets that free throw after missing her previous 3 attempts at the foul line this afternoon.
Well, you talk about point production here in the second half for Fairfield. They are 14 of 16 from the foul line. They have been extremely efficient.
Kirsch misses it. Mosley trying to keep it alive. She can't. Grossarth comes out of it with Tapley, and Tapley gets out of a double team.
So now you work as much clock as you can every possession.
Cohen dogging Tapley a little bit. Tapley able to maintain possession. Grossarth, Nicholas, they'll try and take as much time as they can off the clock. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Tapley driving, down low, pass batted around. Forced that pass inside, and Keeney has it for Loyola. With the double team, she'll hand it off to Cohen.
Good double team by Strumpf and Grossarth, because that just takes time off the clock. Do as much as you can to make them work offensively if you're Fairfield.
Cohen doubled back pass. Grossarth gets a piece of it, but Loyola maintains possession. Hewitt to the foul line. Bounce pass Mosley. Left side drives and can't hit the shot, but draws the foul.
Well, Strumpf gets number 4 with 2:16 remaining.
They're going to throw that one on Holly Tapley, and that'll be her 3rd. But that important for Loyola, Doris, as we watch the replay. The clock is stopped, and they can get some points with no time coming off.
Well, there was absolutely no contact there by Tapley, so that's a tough call on Fairfield, but nonetheless, Mosley at the line.
All net on the first free throw. Mosley has 13 today. The starting point guard, Jennifer Natal, checks back in for Tapley.
Mosley can make this a 2-possession game. If she knocks down this shot, it'll be 6 and does. So you got to defend hard. You are definitely in this ball game if you're Loyola. You just have to make stops here.
Paige Driscoll sees the double team coming, dribbles nicely to get away from it. Flips it to Nicholas. Looking for help. Bounce pass Natal.
Big possession. You got to score here to relieve some pressure off yourself.
Under 2, the 3. Grossarth off the back of the rim. And Strumpf tries to keep the rebound alive. They'll call a jump ball with her and Kirsch, and the arrow goes to Fairfield.
Well, remember the play Paige Driscoll made defensively that got this tie-up, and now the possession back? Well, now they'll get a new 30. So it goes to show you that the possession arrow can have an effect. Diane's going to use a 20 here and discuss what she wants on the offensive end. Patty will get an opportunity to use this and set defenses.
Pat Coyle wasn't happy. I think she was hoping that they would get the foul call on Strumpf. Watch the long rebound. And Strumpf and Kirsch, but that's a good call. I mean, they're both going after the basketball.
Well, it didn't look like either of them had possession. If you let that go, it becomes Pat Coyle and Loyola's basketball. But they had made a quick call on the last tie-up as well.
Pat Coyle trying to rally the troops. It is just a 6-point game with 1:55. So there's still plenty of time left in this MAAC championship game.
And both of these coaches have 1 full and 1:20 left as we get under 2 minutes here.
Fresh 30 on the shot clock for the Stags.
Now you take it down all the way. There you see the reset, 1 and 1. Both will shoot 2 shots on every possession, or on every free throw, every foul.
You got to figure Driscoll and Grossarth are going to want this basketball. They kick it out to Driscoll. Patel, pass deflected by Cohen into the backcourt where Driscoll picks it up.
Keep the pressure on out there. See, they should keep her away from the hoop.
6 to 5 on the shot clock. Williams with 4. Back out to Driscoll, deflected. Kirsch comes up with the steal. Looks for some help. Cohen ahead of the pack. Lays it up and no good. Rebound Mosley right there. Puts it up and in.
Well, again, so now that's 4 with 1:16, so still plenty of time. You'll work clock again if you're Fairfield, but you've put yourself in a tough position.
57-53. The scoreboard clock in the arena shows 52. Pat Coyle's trying to point it out to the scoreboard at this point. Under a minute. Grossarth, 3, no good. Rebound, Keeney. The chance to cut into it again. It is a 4-point Fairfield lead. 51 and counting left. Cohen into the front court.
Well, you can't use all this time, and Pat's going to use a timeout here. You can't use a lot of time. I mean, I know you're only down 4, but if you should miss, you're going to need another possession again. It's still a 2-possession game.
All right, 48 seconds to go. We'll be back for the exciting finish of this game. Fairfield leads Loyola 57-53, the MAAC Women's Championship on the MAAC Television Network.
Youngsters, after the championship ceremony, you can shoot a 3-pointer on the Pepsi Arena floor and receive a special MAAC certificate. Enter after the ceremony at either the bottom of section 117, 118, or 122, 123. That's the only way you'll be able to get onto the floor.
Or Mosley, Kirsch or Mosley.
(57-53), 48.3 seconds left. Fairfield had a 9-point lead. It is down to 4. Loyola has the ball. Diane Nolan has fought defensively what she wants to do. Offensively, what will Pat Coyle want to do here?
Well, I think you either go down to Kirsch or you put it in Mosley's hands, let her create off the dribble. But again, you've got to do this fairly quickly, because if you should miss and Fairfield comes up with the rebound, it's a 2-possession ball game still. If you do score, you can defend hard if you're Pat Coyle, because you know you're going to get the ball back.
Mosley to inbound for the Greyhounds. Tapley guarding Cohen pretty tightly, so they'll come into Kirsch out high, hands to Cohen. Mosley running the baseline. Kirsch sets a screen. Hewitt, 3 off the rim, no good. Rebound, knocked around. Driscoll has it, and she's not fouled. They call it jump ball.
Great job by Cohen from behind. She is a feisty little player. Possession stays with Loyola. Driscoll pleading her case for the foul call.
Well, it was a big save for the Greyhounds on that rebound. Hewitt trying the 3. And as you see, sometimes when you reach in, they call a foul, but they got all ball. Loyola running out of time, though, needs to get some points. They call it 20.
She's only got a 20 left. It has to be that.
Hewitt having a little problem getting the ball in play. 38.2 seconds left in a 4-point game. Good defense by Fairfield, because I tell you what, if you're Fairfield, you want Corey Hewitt to try the 3 there. They were not able to get their options of Kirsch or Mosley.
Well,
I think they'll give them that 3.
I think they said that. Pat Coyle knew that Corey Hewitt twice, when the shot clock was under 5, had drained 2 threes. So she went, where I didn't think she'd go, but I think it was a solid play. She double screens for Hewitt. They got a wide open look. She was close. It doesn't go. But now Diane's, it's a matter of defense for her club.
3,889, the attendance for this MAAC women's title game. That is a new record. for attendance for the MAAC final for the women. Hewitt inbounds, Mosley.
Zone off the inbound, gotta go here.
Cohen, Hewitt, they keep it on the perimeter. Cohen, Mosley, they're stuck outside there. They got to do something. Cohen, Hewitt now driving, nothing there. Time ticks down. Cohen to the basket, lays it up, partially blocked. Rebound batted around. Fairfield has it, and they're fouled. Again, very good defense by Fairfield.
That was great defense because Pat Coyle wanted that shot off a lot quicker than it happened, but credit Fairfield's defense.
Let's take a look at today's New York Lottery play of the game. Jessica Grossarth, all MAAC, heated it up in the first half, a little quiet in the second half, but a big three-point field goal there to give Fairfield some breathing room. Once again, that was today's New York Lottery play of the game. And New York Lottery will present a $1,000 scholarship when all is said and done to the senior men's or women's MAAC basketball player with the highest GPA for use in his or her graduate studies. And this year's winner, Brendan O'Brien, who's from Troy, New York, right up here in the Capital District area. From Manhattan College, a 3.73 GPA in economics, which of course we know is a very easy major anyway. Economics, it's almost as tough as broadcasting major. 20 seconds left, 20.8, and free throws coming up for the Fairfield Stags. Jennifer Natal will step to the free throw line and try and hit a couple here. She is the best foul shooter for the Stags at 76%. Natal has not scored today. Now she has. Fairfield lost to Loyola in the 1994 MAAC title game here in Albany, 72-66. Second shot is missed and grabbed by Loyola. And they lost the 1995 title game as well to Loyola. Hewitt, long-range three, air ball. Tapley has it. Greyhounds will have to foul. Tapley into the front, trying to get into the front court, is fouled with 8.1 seconds left. 1995, Fairfield lost to Loyola, 67-51. 1996, Fairfield lost in the title game to Manhattan, 92-66. Right now, that hard luck, those losses, no one's thinking about them. They are 8.1 seconds away from a MAAC championship and a trip to the NCAA tournament. Tapley misses the first free throw. It's still a 5-point game, now 6.
Well, credit this Fairfield club. They got the lead. Loyola came back on them, but they played very solid defense throughout.
Time running down on Loyola. The clock will tick down, and the Stags are the MAAC Women's Champions for the first time since 1991. Fairfield is going to the NCAA tournament. A 59-53 victory over Loyola, and the Stags are headed to the dance. Diane Nolan and the Fairfield Stags celebrating at center court. And it has been a difficult return to a MAAC championship for Fairfield, as we talked about it. A lot of heartbreak here in Albany. 3 straight finals and 3 straight losses. But now they return and they beat the Loyola Greyhounds. And the party is on for Fairfield. Congratulations to our Pepsi player of the game today from the Fairfield Stags. And you can expect her on the all-tournament team. Paige Driscoll for Fairfield, coming up with 17 points and helping the Stags become 1998 MAAC champions. And Diane Nolan, as we see the numbers on Paige Driscoll, ecstatic with her team at center court here in Albany. And the party goes on as they bring the trophies out, and the celebration will continue. And we've talked about as Paige Driscoll goes, so goes Fairfield, and that was the story in this game today. Grossarth helped out as well, obviously.
When you talk championships in basketball, you talk senior leaderships. Driscoll with 17, Grossarth with 16. They were the key performers for Diane Nolan this afternoon.
So Diane Nolan and the Fairfield Stags beat Loyola and have a MAAC championship to their credit, and it's on to the NCAA tournament. Back in Albany with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network.